Now look, this is what we're finna do. We're finna go ahead and just add our, our flour, right? It wasn't enough for me to do it in increments, just a couple of tablespoons. Now, what it's gonna do is it's gonna cook the flour taste out of that and marry, all of our seasonings and the butter, the infused olive oil, the garlic, and everything together. You don't wanna see any whites. And you want it to get thick and a little bit on the pasty side, don't worry. It's gonna take about at least 30 seconds, right? Now I'm using a spatula. I'm still running this underneath the bottom like that. You see that right there? That's it. Now, let's go ahead and start adding our heavy cream, or if you're using heavy whipping cream, or you can use half and half, whichever one, right? You see how I'm just adding this to it? And look at what I'm doing with my hand. I'm constantly stirring the whole time, right? Any little lumps in there, you just want to keep working it around, right? Now you want to come with your chicken stock. I got to tell you guys this too. It will separate inside the container, so make sure you guys always shake, right? So you can see how soft look at these onions. Oh man. All right, so now we just add a couple of cups here, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make an adjustment from medium to a medium-high flame, right? And we're just gonna keep this moving, right? Like I said, we don't want it to thicken up and get too lumpy, right? So keep it like this. So heat will be your friend here till we get this back up to a boil. Now, once you get it back up to a boil, I kind of like reduce my flame to about this right here. You see that? You just don't want it to be too high. What we're gonna do is we're gonna let this cook down just a little bit and become a little bit, on the thick side. We're not making a thick gravy, folks. We just getting it in there, making sure we don't have no lumps. And it's okay to let it sit just for a few minutes. You know what I mean? Let it just cook. You don't want a high boil, no rolling boil. But this right here is a nice simmer. I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna wait till I get this just a little bit more on the thick side. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our chicken back to it. Okay, so you can see where we at. What I'm doing now is I'm going to get myself a tester spoon. So what I want to do is I want to test, here somewhere. And you can see it's starting to thicken up. This is good because we're going to cook the rest of the chicken in this right here. It's going to keep it nice and moist and cook it so that it'll be 165, right? So we just get a little bit. It's got that soup consistency to it. That's what you want. But now I'm checking to see if my seasoning is right. Oh no, I'm right. We don't need to add nothing else. Now you gotta do it to your own palate, right? Again, these are them kind of videos and these recipes that'll get your confidence up, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna reduce this down to a low flame, right? You see that? You can see it start, once it gets to that soup consistency, watch out folks. I don't like to take it and make it thick here, because if you make it thick here, we got a little cooking to do, then it becomes too thick, right? So, look at that, let that go. Now I'm getting ready to bring in and reintroduce, right? We're finna reintroduce the chicken here. Look at me, y'all, trying to come up with some kind of pattern, So, take this, put this in here like that. This one here on this side. And this one here. Ooh-wee. Now, anything that has dripped, you see that right there? That ain't nothing but flavor, folks. We cooking it anyway. I know it might look a little different, but if you want everything to be way over the top, and especially for all my people that this is a new recipe for you, look at yonder. Now I'm gonna take a spoon and just put a little bit over the top like that, just to coat it. No worries, the heat and everything is gonna make it come down, but I like to just protect it. And if anything gets back into the gravy, that's a plus. I'm going to put a lid on the top. For those of you guys that don't have a pot, that don't have that, you can make a pan that doesn't have a lid. Don't worry, you can make this in a pot that you do have one. And if all else fails, you don't have one, neither, you can go ahead and just cover it with some aluminum foil, right? So now we're finna cover. Now we're gonna cook this for about 20 to 25 minutes, right? At 20 minutes, I'm gonna use my meat thermometer and check and see where we are with our temperature in our chicken, right? Remember, just 20 to 25 minutes as far as it needs to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. I did peek at it just to look at it, but you guys can see it is a masterpiece, right? I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. I know that it's ready. What I'm gonna do is now we wanna check our temperature, right? So I can tell you how smooth that went in there right there. Oh, this is nice. Now don't forget, this is like a dark meat. So look, 179. Let's get down here. This one right here is 176. Now just test one more for the and giggles. This one happens to be one that's settling around 182. Yeah, so it's ready. I knew it was. I had already checked it just to make sure. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and plate it. But just to show you guys, look at the gravy. Remember I said you didn't want to make it too thick because it was gonna continue. You see this right here? Look at that. This is what you want to have. Now for the dry spices that you guys saw, I went ahead and added that. I didn't record that. You know what I mean? I just added it. You know, the full ingredient list is on my website. You guys know, smokinandgrillinwithab.com. That's WITAB.com. Now, that will give you the measurements. Really, you're supposed to taste this and just figure out where you want to be. But I got you guys in the ballpark. Right now, this right here is fire. If I had a restaurant, I'd serve it. Okay, folks, look, there's really nothing else to do. You didn't see the plating. That's what brought you here, you know, that thumbnail, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just get myself, you know, a piece. Now, when I tell you it's super tender, you don't need no knife, you know what I mean? But I got one. This is kind of like a big piece too. You see how it tears, but you see that right there? Look at it, cooked through and true. I'm not finna over talk you, folks. I'm finna go ahead and get me some of this. Cheers, y'all. There's something about when you inhale, when you put it in your mouth, you can just taste it through the air before it even touches.